It's going to be underthrown, but picked off. KU's got it at the 24-yard line. A one-hand sensational interception by the Hawk Mamba, Kobe Bryant. Now he's going to keep option play. All kinds of room in front. 35-30. Around the right edge. He can go. The 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Kansas. An extra gear for Jason Bean. And the Jayhawks may put a nail in that coffin with 11:39 to play.
Bootleg back to the right side. Cook looking, has time. Now throws it underneath. He's got Theo Weiss to the 25 to the 30. Right sideline to midfield to the 40. Theo Weiss to the 30 to the 20 to the 10 to the 5 to the house from 77. The senior from Allen, Texas announces his arrival. 3 players out to the right side. Inside handoff. Schrader running room to the 30. 25-20. Left sideline 10. 5 house. Cody Schrader from 41. And Missouri regains the lead.
With a 3rd and 5. Watson, Mahomes, underneath, Rice on the move. Deep block by Marquez Valdes-Scantling. That is a Kansas City touchdown. 39-yard strike, catch and run. And his fellow receiver gave him a touchdown block late in the run.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Stephen St. John and Todd Leabo with Marco Marquez. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. It's Monday, November 27th, 2023. Today on the show, we're going to Todd Leabo not only will co-host, but he'll be a guest in the 7 o'clock hour.
How'd you book that?
Well, grandfathered in. And then Catherine Tappan will join us in the 8 o'clock hour to talk college football and NFL football. Chase Daniel, our Monday morning quarterback, will be with us at 8:30 to talk about Mizzou's beatdown of Arkansas. Mizzou putting their foot inside the entire state of Arkansas's ass on Friday.
It was Arkansas or Florida?
Well, Marco was so enamored with some of the big plays from the Florida win, he wanted you to hear that. I think that was directed because Theo Weiss had a 77-yard touchdown. He wanted to remind you that Theo Weiss transferred from Oklahoma.
Yeah, he did.
I've been very happy with Theo Weiss.
And Theo Weiss has been good.
You undersold him to me.
He's fine. I mean, he's fine. He's
but
good.
He's a very nice addition.
He's very good for a Missouri player.
I like his dad.
I'm kidding. Hey,
was his dad very vocal at Oklahoma on social media?
Honestly,
and
don't remember.
He's been great.
Yeah,
you know,
it's good for him. He says he's coming back too.
That was on Luther.
You
Burden's
don't believe Luther
IG,
Burden's live stream?
Live IG. So I don't know.
You don't believe that?
Well, then Theo Weiss's dad got on social media and said,
not so fast.
My boy was caught up in the moment, So.
Yeah, because he's played 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need his 6th year if you think you're going to go to the NFL and stuff.
Come on back.
Could have been at Oklahoma. How many points did they score on Friday?
Come on back.
How many points?
To be honest with you, paid no attention to Oklahoma.
I sent you a screenshot of it.
69?
That's right.
Yeah. And also, Bill Moss will join us in the 9 o'clock hour. So we got lots to talk about, lots of football to talk about. The Chiefs, let me tell you something. And, who am I to I'm nobody is what the answer is. Who am I? Nobody.
Nobody.
And I didn't feel like jacking around with social media yesterday, and it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like posting. But it was very, I don't know, what's the word?
Toxic? Defeatist?
Really disappointing.
Yeah.
In the number of people that gave up at 14-0,
Jumping the ship.
The stupid text thread that I'm a part of.
I have 3 text threads.
Okay.
And all 3 of them were just like the one that you're talking about.
I mean, this is unbelievable. And I get it. The Chiefs, they're the number 1 seed, but they're not the number 1 seed enough. We don't like it because they don't win by, 3 touchdowns every game. And they've had some struggles, but yet they're still the number 1 seed in the AFC. But it's not the way we like to see it. So we're going to complain and bitch about it, every single thing. And I get it. They came out flat, and it was 14-0. But it was like people forgot they're playing the Raiders. This has happened before. What were they? What was the? Were they down one time 21-3 or a few years ago?
Oh yeah,
I mean
last year at home they woke up the wrong mother bleeper.
No, I'm talking about I thought it was.
I know that the game was here last year early.
Right.
They were down,
but
this
this has happened.
Yes,
and then you play it out, and then the Raiders become the Raiders, and the Chiefs become the Chiefs, and that's it. And I know that people right now don't have faith in the offense and don't have faith, and so quickly lost faith in the defense after you know what, they had some bad drives.
Mm-hmm.
But how about a little faith that Spags is going to figure things out, make some adjustments, and that Mahomes is still Mahomes, whether people want to believe it or not, and the Raiders are still the Raiders. I just couldn't believe after one quarter how many people just jumped ship.
I will.
Oh, it's over.
I'm going to read a few things here for you.
I'm not going to watch this anymore. Thanks for clearing my Sunday afternoon for me.
I'm not naming names.
Season's over.
I won't say the people who said these
I'd love
things.
to name names.
What in the F spelled out is going on? Bro, we look like S. Andy needs somebody to tell him his ideas aren't always the bomb. Starting to think Doug Peterson and Eric Bieniemy used to be the dudes telling him that.
Jesus.
Andy, lose this team? Blah, blah. It's one text string. Let me give you another text string. This one went off the rails pretty quick. You talk amongst yourselves here. Well, I got to scroll back.
Todd.
No. You're supposed to talk.
Okay, listen to me.
Okay. Broncos beat us down 3 starters from a horrible offensive lineup. Lost Super Bowl rematch. I think it's setting up for a lopsided route in the end of the run. Rebuilding next year.
Oh, I'd love to hear who said that.
But I hope to God I'm wrong. That was that one. Pat missed an early TD there. Guy crossing on the right was wide open. WTF is going on. Not seeing the field this year. His decisions, blah, blah. I mean, this is just like people are...
After all of these ridiculous texts and social media posts that I was reading on Facebook and X and everywhere else, the Chiefs responded by going on a 31-3 run.
Yeah.
After being down 14-0. And I get it. This team has flaws. Every team in the NFL has flaws. Okay? There is no super team. Even the Philadelphia Eagles that only have one loss, they have flaws. Mm-hmm. 4 straight games, they have been outgained by over 100 yards. And they've won all of them. Okay?
Finding a way.
And I'll no matter what Nick Sirianni says, his desire to lash out at Chiefs fans, the Eagles were not.
I think he has the look of someone who will lash out at anybody.
I think there's a little extra for the Chiefs. You know why? Because Andy Reid didn't keep him.
He didn't keep anybody.
Well, he didn't keep him. I don't think Nick Sirianni cares about anybody else. Nick Sirianni felt slighted, and when he was here in Kansas City, he was terrible as a coach.
Nobody was good at that.
He was part of an embarrassing time in Kansas City. You think he has fond memories of being in Kansas City? Oh boy, that was great. That was awesome. No. Okay, so he probably has a little extra juice for the Chiefs, and he got beaten in the Super Bowl by the Chiefs. Of course, he has extra juice, but they have flaws too. The Eagles, we saw yesterday in a wild game that went deep into overtime. The Eagles, with a run by Jalen Hurts, beat the Buffalo Bills in a game they probably should have lost. In the game between the Chiefs and the Eagles, the Chiefs statistically were the better team. They lost because they turned the ball over in the red zone. Period. And that's right now. The Chiefs, they were beaten by the Broncos, even though they cooperated and made plenty of mistakes. But the Chiefs lost that game to the Lions and lost the game to the Eagles because they turned the football over. Period. This team is still the number 1 seed in the AFC, although it may not be the way you want it to happen. It may not be the type of number 1 seed that you want. They're still the number 1 seed. They're still 8-3, and they still show they're capable of going on a 31-3 run in less than 3 quarters.
And
on
that
the
was
road.
a 31-3 run. There was no smoke and mirrors. There wasn't a pick six. There wasn't a fumble taken back.
No turnovers
that was
at all.
Offense and defense doing their game. That's what that was. And I think those are more dominating sometimes. Yeah, it's cool to have a defensive touchdown or something like that, but that was 31-3. That was a legit 31-3. I'm going to read you one last thing from the text stream.
I don't want to hear it.
No, this is the one last one. This will lead you into what I think was good in this.
Put a name on it.
I'm not going to put a name.
I want to hear.
Season-ending game today. Veach really effed us with the wide receiver room.
Who said that?
I'm not going to say. The text strings are sacrosanct. You can't say who said those things.
Of course I can.
We're not going to do that.
People know when they text me, it is subject to be read on
wasn't
Sports
texting
Radio
to you.
810.
This was a separate
was that in
text
ours?
string.
Okay.
It was not in ours.
And you make a good point. There were no smoke and mirrors. Let's see if Marco watched the game. Marco, how many turnovers did the Raiders have?
Don't think they had any.
None.
Yeah, no turnovers.
Marco, how many penalties did the Raiders have?
Oh, 2?
None.
Oh, wow.
The Raiders were penalized 0 times for 0 yards. Did you realize that,
I
Todd?
did not realize that.
That's remarkable, isn't it?
It's amazing.
That they played such a clean football game.
None.
They were the Chiefs were penalized 4 times for 40 yards. The Raiders 0 penalties for 0 yards and had 0 turnovers. And so that was just the Chiefs beating the Raiders like a drum. Spotting them 14 points, and they go on a 31-3 run. And there were some good things that happened besides the Chiefs winning that way. All I ask is, haven't they earned any grace?
Well, here's the thing.
By winning a couple of Super Bowls and winning the division every year and having over the past, I think it's 5 years, having the best winning percentage of any team in the 4 major sports?
Technology.
Do we not give them the benefit of the doubt anywhere?
No, probably not. And technology makes it worse because it used to be you would sit there on the couch fretting in your own mind about something, and you didn't have the way just to text your friends that, and you certainly didn't have a way to tweet, Facebook, Twitch it to the world, your thoughts. If every single person told everyone a thought that they have right away, it's bad news. And now, even if it's just a text to your friends, you're like, just hold it for 15 minutes and let's watch a little football happen. You know what I mean? Let's just wait for just a second. And you're exactly right. You're not watching the Carolina Panthers here, that you know how the game is going to end. You're watching the Kansas City Chiefs, who should have earned a little bit of leeway with their fans at this point. But I get it. People were sour. Nobody was happy with what happened and all the drops on Monday night, and that they lost the game, and like Nick Sirianni video, all that kind of stuff. This has been a hurt bunch of people for a week, okay? It's been devastating. But I tell people all the time, remember back to when it was like 8 straight weeks of devastation? We're very spoiled now. Chiefs fans are incredibly spoiled. And listen, I guess going to 3 Super Bowls and winning 2 of them will do that to you, but it's time to take a breath. Let's watch an entire football game before we freak out. Even if it's just a text to friends, because text lasts forever.
You can text whatever you want, but it's just amazing how quickly people want to jump off the
just
bandwagon.
like that. They're spoiled, man. They think every game is supposed to have 45 points, and you're never supposed to have 3 and out twice in a row.
And don't get me wrong, I was pissed off.
Yeah, it was a disappointing start.
What a terrible start! But it was early in the second quarter. I'm not.
Chiefs had the ball for a minute and a half, maybe.
Right. They had the ball. They had 7 offensive plays in the first quarter.
I will say this: the script has not looked good the past couple of weeks. The first 3 plays of the script have gone the wrong way.
Let me tell you this, though. Something else good that came out of this game that hopefully will continue, okay? And it was somewhat out of necessity. McCole Hardman goes on IR.
Mm-hmm.
Do I like that? No, I like McCole Hardman. I was hoping he could help the team. He's on IR, but that sucks. Didn't work out. Injured thumb. Kadarius Toney couldn't go. Stop me if you heard this before. An assortment of injuries, he was unable to play. Okay.
Yeah, short week.
So you take those 2 off the table. They're not on the field, and so there's no inclination to try to get them to football with some gadget plays or whatever else. So you remove them from the situation. Marquez Valdez-Scantling only had 1 target. Richie James was out there, but he didn't have any targets.
Punt returner.
Justin Watson only had 3 targets. The Chiefs focused on their 3 best skill position players. And their names are Isaiah Pacheco, Rashee Rice, and Travis Kelce. If that wasn't clearly identified before this game, hopefully now it is. That's who the offense runs through. Isaiah Pacheco, Travis Kelce, and Rashee Rice. Pacheco had 15 carries for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. They went to him a couple of times in short yardage, and it paid off. He also had 5 catches for 34 yards, 20 touches. I love it. 20 touches for almost 100 total yards. If not for that big loss he had on his first touch, he would have had 100 yards from scrimmage. Travis Kelce, 6 catches for 91 yards, 6 catches and 7 targets. Love it. Rashee Rice, he had a bad drop. Okay, the one that they called a drop early on was a bad pass, and it wasn't going anywhere. I don't call that a drop. The other was a drive killer that either would have been a first down or set them for third and one.
Yeah.
That was just a drop. But that was it. He had 10 targets, 8 catches for 107 yards, and what have we said repeatedly? He's been so close to busting a big play. Keep feeding him the football. He's your most explosive wide receiver. He's your playmaker. You're going to have to deal with some drops, but he at least is a young wide receiver that you could tell yourself that will get better and he'll become more consistent with more touches.
He ended up with snap count 67%. That's what we want to see. He was out there for 40 plays, and he got targeted 10 times.
That percentage has been consistent for a while, but the targets are what I'm excited about.
Absolutely.
The targets. You get the ball in his hands, and good things will happen. And I thought that touchdown was the backbreaker.
The touchdown looked like what you want to see from a guy who could be your number one receiver. They have not had – I don't remember seeing anyone score on a play like that who wasn't Tyreek Hill. Really, in a while. Yes. Like we've seen some long plays where someone throws it over the top and someone catches it, whatever. But a play where it's an underneath route where you use your speed, turn the corner, and your cut back and your strength to go score.
Healthy Sammy Watkins-ish.
Yeah. I mean, Juju had a play like that last year against Baltimore. He caught it in traffic and kind of went through. But listen, he's not a burner. He's not like 4.2 speed or whatever, but he's fast enough to get around that corner. He's fast enough, and he definitely is a turn up the field and go look for the end zone guy.
13:40 left in the game, and it's still 21-17, so the game's still up in the air. And he puts it away with a 39-yard touchdown, catch and run.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And there's just, they got the ball to Sky Moore in some space. He's not making people miss, and he just doesn't.
He had one where he made a miss. I think that was a fine day from Sky Moore. As far as Sky Moore, scale.
He is what it is. He is what he is. The offense, you have three clear guys that you can lean on right now. Okay? Isaiah Pacheco, Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice. And I thought it was somewhat out of necessity because they didn't feel, we got to get the ball in Kadarius Toney's hands. Well, let's try this with McCole Hardman. MVS was ignored.
Less options may be good for this team.
Justin Watson, God love him, he was, he caught a touchdown, but 3 or 4 targets. That's the 11 targets he had against the Eagles is too many times 2. So, listen, that's the key right here. And I'm not saying dumb it down, but just shrink it down to where you keep those guys out there, and just like any running back will tell you, any receiver will tell you, the more touches you get into a rhythm, you get more comfortable in the game, you're not getting yanked all the time. That is what, hey, sometimes it's good to get yanked all the time. In a game, you don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
Watching the game, maybe, that'd be fun. But let me tell you something, all right? You get the ball to Isaiah Pacheco, Travis Kelce, and Rashee Rice, good things are going to happen. And I like them throwing the football to Pacheco. I like him getting 5 catches. And so now moving forward, when you look at that, okay, so who are they playing next? Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. You look at this, and you look at what they did in the final 2.5 quarters. It's not just, we just stopped Kelce. They got nothing else. Well, we got to account for Isaiah Pacheco. Well, they just had Rashee Rice go for over 100 yards and had the most explosive play of the game. And so now that's a factor.
And I thought, honestly, it's good for the other guys as well. Because Noah Gray, three
Noah
catches.
Gray was good.
And that was good.
I love Noah Gray.
And I thought
he should get the ball more.
I thought Sky Moore did a nice job with his 3 catches. He actually made someone miss on one of them. I mean, so I think you forget about some of these other guys, and they weren't there to try to get them the ball. It looked pretty natural. It didn't look like anything was forced to anybody. It didn't look like, oh, this guy's on the field, here comes a weird play. You know what I mean? It just looked like, hey, they were playing regular football. And I like that. You're exactly right. Rashee Rice got targets, made the most of them, and he rose to the occasion. He had the drop, okay? No one's perfect. This was a much better drop day than they had last week, obviously, and they were able to survive that one. It's a shame that they ended up not, being able to pick up the third down afterwards. But listen, those things happen. It didn't cost them the game. They had some drops that cost them the game last week. This was different. I think we're seeing a player turning into he's not a star or anything, but I think we're seeing a player get into his own, and the trust that the offense has in him, that Patrick Mahomes is starting to have in him, is paying off. You have to keep throwing someone the ball. There's only one way to do it, and that's in a game. And they did that yesterday. The touchdown came after the drop, right? Correct?
Sure. The drop was early.
Yeah. So,
yes.
I mean, it's good stuff, man. This was erase 3:30 to 4:15 in your mind and just enjoy the rest of that game. People maybe should put their phones down until like the third quarter or something.
Look,
I don't know.
The other thing that I'll say is, and there's this tremendous desire to label. We got to label someone the number one receiver. The number one receiver is Travis Kelce, but just leave it be. What they need out of the wide receivers is a playmaker.
Yeah,
a playmaker, and Rashee Rice is showing he is a playmaker. That was his best game as a pro. He had over 100 yards. He had a 39-yard, a back-breaking touchdown, and he showed the ability to be explosive and to make plays. That's all you want. Call him number one. Call him whatever you want. All right? But Pacheco, Kelce, Rice, and for you, Sky Moore and Noah Gray,
you were fine.
Be complimentary players like they were yesterday. That's fine.
Yeah.
I love Noah Gray and Sky Moore. If you could just do that, that's great.
That's perfect. That's what
right.
you want out of him. You want to get through 4 catches in a game and get first downs. Noah Gray picked up first down on every play, maybe?
Everyone else can just chill.
Just relax. Winnow this thing down. Play like 5 guys.
When Kadarius Toney comes back, if he wants to be the punt returner, that's great.
Maybe.
But I don't need to see anything to try to force the ball in the hands of anyone else.
And we know this. You may come down, and it could be a playoff game, and you could be down to Marcus Kemp catching passes. Now, he's not on the team anymore. You know what I mean? You have to have these guys ready to do things. But in the meantime, play the best players and just try to get through. You have to have some guys available to step in and do whatever. But I'm telling you, Patrick Mahomes can win with this group of players.
Very, very excited to see Rashee Rice explode in that game yesterday. And also, I do think it's important that he had that drop and he overcame it. And still had a great game. Chiefs win 31-17, overcome a 14-0 deficit. And
season-ending deficit.
Right. And then outscore the Raiders
next year.
31-3 for the rest of the game. 8-3, number 1 seed. And now they go to Green Bay to take on the Packers on Sunday Night Football. We'll be back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
appreciate your days being memorable for all those plays. But how do you also shake off when you do drop a ball and get right back to what you're able to do after that?
Just understanding that I gotta, like I said, stay locked in on my fundamentals, but also understand that I have a great quarterback that is not gonna be doubtful about throwing me the ball. So clear that play and get ready for the next play because he's gonna come back to me.
I mean, he'll tell you. I mean, he'll tell you. And for young dudes to do that, I mean, that speaks to the type of player that he is. I mean, he just wants to win. He wants to go out there and he wants to win. And when I say that, he doesn't do it in a bad way. He just will say, hey, like, I'm going to be there. Like, I'm going to do what I need to do to get myself open. And if you give me the chance that it comes to you, then I'm going to make something happen with it. And so that's the type of guys you want. And I think we have a lot of guys like that on the team. And obviously we've had a few games where we haven't played at our level, but we're going to continue to work at it and keep winning football games and try to be our best at the end of the season.
Welcome back to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you so much for joining us. Stephen St. John and Todd Leabo with Marco Marquez. It was an eventful weekend in college football. Of course, once again, the Chiefs win over the Raiders.
31-17.
Yeah. Thank goodness. But that's not all that happened. On Friday, on Black Friday, it was the battle line game between Mizzou and Arkansas. Let me tell you, that was a great game to watch.
By the way, good news.
What?
Sam Pittman's coming back.
Well, they had announced that before the game, so.
And they haven't changed it yet. They didn't take that back.
No.
Despite. I'll
No
tell you
go-backs.
something. Let me tell you something right now.
48-14, Mizzou beats Arkansas.
Do you know how many people from Kansas City send their kids to Arkansas?
Quite a few.
I mean, there are lots of them. And it just has to be bleh for all these people to be turncoats and run down to Arkansas.
I hope they all felt bad watching that game.
And get beat by Missouri every year.
Right.
When Arkansas fans heard Pittman was coming back, did they go, tits?
Wow. Cody Schrader continues his marvelous run, 27 carries, 217 yards, and a touchdown. And it was look, they just
Arkansas
beat the hell
wasn't
out
going to
of him.
win that game, even with KJ Jefferson. But when he was gone,
He got knocked out.
it was over. Over.
Cody Schrader had over 190 yards in the first half.
He's going downhill, though. I mean, he didn't do something that had never been done in the SEC. What's his problem?
So Missouri, and he wins the SEC rushing title. Missouri has an excellent chance to make an NY6 bowl. There's still scenarios which would lead them out of the NY6, but then they would probably go to the Citrus Bowl against Iowa. I'm not going to sit here and go through all the scenarios. I'm just going to let it play
there's really
out.
no scenarios. I mean, it's whatever the SEC picks, right? I mean, that's what it is. And the New Year's Six picks.
No, there's scenarios because conference champions get in there and they would take spots. You know what I mean?
If someone doesn't make the college football playoff, I mean, if Alabama beats Georgia by 70 points, I don't think Georgia is going to make the college football playoff.
Okay, for example, you don't want Oklahoma State to win if you're a Missouri fan.
Right, because then they would get to be the champion.
You don't want Iowa somehow to win. That would be a disaster.
Well, you want Iowa to win just for fun.
No.
Yes.
No. You don't understand. That would take a spot.
But who cares? Missouri is
What do
not
you mean,
dropping
who cares?
from the New Year's Six to the Poinsettia Bowl. Okay, they're going to if their consolation prize is the Capital One Bowl on New Year's Day.
The consolation prize would be the Citrus Bowl, I think.
Well, that's a great prize.
But I'm telling you, I'm just in regards of the NY6. You don't want Iowa to win. They're not going to.
By the way, do you know when the NY6 games are happening?
They're different times. Like what?
The Cotton Bowl. Do you know
Friday
when the
night.
Cotton Bowl
It's
is?
a Friday night.
It's freaking December 29th.
Right.
Blah.
The next day is the Peach Bowl, like
Yes.
at 11 or 12.
Blah.
Why?
Blah. You want to be on New Year's Day. Cotton Bowl's dumb.
Why is the Cotton Bowl dumb? See, you get a chance to do all these things all the time as an Oklahoma fan. It's not dumb to other people. You know?
Well, the exciting thing would be, listen, they're going to be in a good bowl no matter what.
I would love to see them go to the Fiesta Bowl. The 3 bowls that are possible for the NY6, they're not going to go to the Orange Bowl. Oh, there's a slight chance, but that's not going to happen. Or the Peach, the Cotton, or the Fiesta.
Yeah, the Peach is the one I think that has to take the Group of 5 team.
They don't have to, no.
But someone has to, and it rotates by year. I think they get stuck with them.
They don't have to. Gabe DeArmond wrote a long breakdown.
I'll trust Gabe.
Well, you should.
I trust Gabe.
Right.
But Missouri's fine regardless.
The bottom line is this. They won 10 games in the regular season, and they're going to go to a great bowl game.
You didn't believe in them. You didn't even bet them on the over.
I did bet them on the over. And that helped make up for some of the stupid bets that I lost this weekend. But congratulations to Eli Drinkwitz and the Missouri Tigers for humiliating Arkansas and winning 10 games in the regular season. And you think about this stretch here over the last several weeks, they were on CBS
3 times.
The CBS 2:30 game against in a great game against Georgia. They were the CBS 2:30 game
Florida.
when they beat down Tennessee. They were on the ESPN primetime game with me in attendance with the 4th and 17 game we'll always remember. And then they were on CBS 3 o'clock game on Friday against Arkansas in a blowout. What a great run of infomercials for Mizzou football. And the great timing also, because now going into that and winning 10 games, ladies and gentlemen, entering the transfer portal, everyone. Eli Drinkwitz, go get him.
The whole world. Eli
Drinkwitz, go get them. And now he is armed with NIL money and a 10-win season. So let's go.
So also, great end of the year for Kansas as well, winning at Cincinnati. Wonderful win for Lance Leipold and the crew, going through a lot of different things with their quarterbacks being hurt here and there. I think it was a great job by them. Absolutely great job by them. K-State.
What the hell happened in that game?
The K-State game is one of the weirdest box scores you will ever see in your life. In your life.
Give me the stats for the Iowa State running back.
The Iowa State running back, well, it really went downhill late. It wasn't quite as good for him.
Give me his numbers.
His numbers were 16 carries, 276 yards.
Oh. How many
17 yards
per carry? 17 yards a carry?
All right. Now, also, they scored 6 touchdowns in that game. Iowa State scored 6 touchdowns. The shortest one was 33 yards. They had 33, 60, 71, 77, and like 82. They had 400 yards on 6 plays in that game. It was like the Greg Robinson. Remember back in the day, if it hadn't been for the big plays, the defense played pretty well, right? Absolutely incredible. And you know how the old school time of possession is such a big deal? 42 minutes to 18 minutes. K-State won time of possession. K-State won the turnover battle. K-State had 32 first downs. 32 first downs in the game. Iowa State ran 31 plays. And I think a couple of those were kneel downs at the end. They ran 31 plays in the game. And they scored 42 points, and none of it was on defense. Weirdest game ever. It was snow was a factor, blah, blah, whatever. But anyway, that whole thing with K-State losing at home, the big winner in this to avoid further embarrassment, even though this is not what they wanted, is the Big 12.
Oh.
Because the Big 12 didn't have to have a disastrous explanation of their tiebreakers.
They had all the tiebreakers ready to...
I watched...
They were going to unveil them.
I watched the Oklahoma game. I watched a big chunk of the Texas game. I watched mostly all of the Oklahoma State game. And not one national announcer had exact scenarios on Friday of what was going to happen, just like we talked about last week when they did not give us a scenario for every single thing that was going to happen. Freaking embarrassing. But since Oklahoma won and Texas won, it got simple on Saturday that all that had to happen was Oklahoma State win. Now, if Oklahoma State had lost, they would have had to use, if K-State had won, the tiebreaker that they switched in the middle of the year, where Oklahoma State gets to win the tiebreaker, the 3-way tiebreaker. But K-State losing, now they don't have to explain that either. So it ends up lucky for them. We will have the game on the air for you Saturday at 11 o'clock, Texas and Oklahoma State. And you're rooting for Texas. Is that right? Because you don't want Oklahoma State to be in New Year's Six?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Yeah, because they take up 2 spots then, right?
So you're rooting for the SEC school?
Sure, why not?
Absolutely. That's what you're rooting for.
Listen to
and let me
this.
tell you this about Oklahoma State, by the way. BYU almost won about 5 other games this year. They had that game won, and they did not win it. And Oklahoma State gets to go to the Big 12 title game. Good for them.
You don't
what a
believe
weird
that.
year
That's
for
not
them
how
as
you
well.
feel.
No, I think
Don't
they're.
tell me good for them.
I'll be a
That's
jerk
your
right
arch
now.
rival.
I think they're about the 5th best team in this league, and they're playing in that game.
That's what I want to hear. What is wrong with you?
I'm telling you, I think you're
Sit
like
here,
the
come
5th
on.
best team in the league.
Don't you ever come on
Now,
here and say, good for Oklahoma State.
The
I'm
other
glad
thing
that
is,
you hate them.
I'm pretty sure Oklahoma would lose to Texas, and now they don't have to. So
You beat them already once.
I know. Now we get to say we won the last game.
Rocco Becht was 8 of 12 for 230 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Iowa State running back, 16 for 276. They had a receiver, 3 catches for 160 yards.
They had 3 scores, right?
What the hell was going on?
The snow was a factor for sure, but it was a super disappointing, awful performance by K-State.
I mean, I watched for most of the second half, but what the hell?
K-State went into Friday with hopes of playing in the Big 12 title game, and they are sliding down the bowl things now. Because now, I mean, they finished in 5th place in the Big 12.
But like of all teams you don't think that would happen to would be K-State.
No, they were awful on defense. Awful. There's a play, if you see the play where the K-State
Did
defender,
you get you guys down down the sideline?
He just pushes.
Oh,
he basically bounces him forward.
What was that?
Like a
yeah.
Everyone was calling it like a Mario mushroom boost or
like
something.
he was
Mario Kart.
encouraging him.
Yes. Move along, friend.
We'll take a break. Back after this on WHP.
to the air. Mahomes. Pacheco is open. And so is Watson. Touchdown for a second consecutive game. Almost the same play they ran Monday against the Eagles. 3-yard touchdown pass. Justin Watson.
Yeah, no, it was a good day. I still think we can be better. There was plays here and there that we didn't execute at a high enough level. But we're going to be going to Green Bay, playing in a great environment, which I'm really excited about, against a team that's playing really good football right now, and a defense that's playing really good. And so it'll be another great challenge for us. And how can we respond? How can we not have these highs and lows and continue to build throughout the rest of the season?
Welcome back to the show. Okay, pardon me if I'm going to lean on Gabe DeArmond from PowerMizzou.com for who I root for this weekend.
Okay.
This is what Gabe tells me.
You do what Gabe says.
Gabe tells me who to root for, and I root for them.
You root for it.
Yes.
He said there's exactly one scenario in which Missouri could miss the New Year's Six. Oklahoma State beats Texas, and Iowa beats Michigan, and Louisville beats Florida State. So in my household, it's go Texas, go Michigan, go Florida State.
Or just one of those.
Go all of them. I don't need any drama. I don't need that in my life.
I think you can rest easy.
I don't
Those
ever.
three
Let me
things
tell you
aren't
something.
happening.
When have you ever known me to rest easy?
Never.
All right?
Never.
And I will be going to speak at the Tiger Club.
I saw that.
We're gonna play a game of scenario. And for 1 hour, we're going to go through every scenario of what could happen during championship game weekend. So how about that?
I think the chances of those three outcomes happening are less than 1%.
It's the Iowa-Michigan one that really stands out.
Why does that stand out?
Oklahoma State could beat Texas.
Iowa, Michigan.
Louisville could absolutely beat Florida State.
I don't think
With that
Oklahoma State
quarterback,
could beat Texas.
They could.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think Iowa can beat Michigan.
No, I don't think so.
And also, Texas, Michigan, and Florida State all still have playoff hopes.
By the way, there were so many interesting, fun things that could have happened during college football Friday and Saturday that almost did but didn't. That was the gist of the whole thing.
But it was still wild.
I mean, Auburn absolutely had Alabama beat.
How do you give up a 4th and goal from the 31? And why? Let me ask you a question real quick. Let me ask you this football question. On 4th and goal from the 31, why are you spying the quarterback? Why are you wasting a defender to spy the quarterback? What do you think he's going to do? Scramble for 31 yards and get the touchdown? Honestly?
I was listening. I was in the car at that time, and I was listening to the Auburn broadcast. Let me tell you something. They were not happy when that was a touchdown. You could kind of tell that it was caught already. You know, you're listening, and the play already happens. It was like somebody had kicked a dog that touchdown happened. Not freaking happy at all. Oklahoma State, as we said, they could have easily lost that game. BYU had them down 24-6. Oklahoma State was doing what they have done. It was very OSU-like to be losing that game, but they ended up winning. Florida had Florida State beat, and that would have ended Florida State's college football playoff hopes. And, of course, didn't happen. Washington State played Washington all they wanted in the final ever Apple Cup because Washington is leaving. And that would have killed Washington's hopes. I think Washington's got their hands full on Friday against Oregon. Trying to beat that team twice will be difficult. But all of those things almost happened, but they didn't quite happen. The one thing that did happen that was interesting on Saturday was Louisville, who's a top 10 team who will play Florida State in the title game for the ACC championship, got beat by Kentucky, who apparently at this moment on Saturday, Mark Stoops was plotting his escape and his $9 million job to go to A&M. And the word gets out Saturday evening, the A&M faithful melt down, and they're like, we're gonna not do that. So then Mark Stoops puts out a tweet at midnight saying,
I can't leave Kentucky right now.
I love it. I love this
these
place.
kids here.
I love it.
I love the bluegrass.
Everybody hates me. Who honestly could Texas A&M hire who they would feel is worthy of Texas A&M?
I think A&M. I think Stoops would have been a really good hire for A&M.
I know, but who would the Aggie faithful? What is the list of coaches that the Aggie faithful would accept?
Dabo Sweeney would be one.
Kirby Smart.
Bob Stoops.
Oh, I don't think they'd accept Bob Stoops.
I think they would. That kind of name, yes, of course. Urban Meyer.
Bob
Stoops. I think they'd be pretty fired up for Andy Reid.
Andy Reid, Bill Belichick,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I think Nick Sirianni would probably get a pretty good welcome down there.
Sean McVay, maybe something. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
But if it's just amazing to me. I'm gonna ask you a question. Since Texas A&M joined the Big 12, which was 1996, so
Yeah.
we're talking about that's 28 years. How many times has Texas A&M won 10 games?
Once?
2 times.
Twice.
Once with Johnny Football.
Yeah.
And then once in 1998 when they took 3 overtimes to beat K-State. There was a good team in 1998. They have won 10 games.
Is that Sir Parker?
2 times. Dante Hall and Sir Parker. 2 times. This outfit acts like they've been like hanging around. By the way, how many SEC title games have they played in?
I don't remember.
It's a simple number. It's none.
Right.
Okay. They played in 2 Big 12 title games. They won the one against K-State, and they lost against against Nebraska in one game. So in that 28 years, they've gone to 2 conference title games, and they've won double-digit games 2 times. I'm gonna remind you, winning double-digit games is not an impossible task, okay? How many times has Missouri won double-digit games? 4,
Why do you use
5?
them as the
I'm just
example
saying.
why
I mean,
it's not,
they're nowhere close to what Missouri is. They're not in the last 30 years of
Missouri
football.
won double-digit games in 07,
08,
08, 13, 14, this year.
This year it's 5 times. They've gone to 4 conference title games, 2 in each one of those leagues. They've been in a league with Texas A&M for all these years, and A&M isn't satisfied with anyone they hire.
Somebody directed me to this post from On3 Sports, which I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. It's something.
On3 is a new recruiting site. It's where Jeremy Crabtree works now. It's good. It's a good spot.
I don't know what it is.
I'm telling
you don't
you,
have to yell at me.
I
don't know everything.
It's good people.
Okay. Andy Staples put out his predictions in NY6. Oklahoma somehow is going to leap over.
They're not leaping over
Missouri. Because that's how it's clickbait. He has Ole Miss leaping over Missouri, and then later on he admitted he's mad at Missouri because they didn't cover against LSU and threw that pick 6, and he had a big bet on them. And so that's how serious you take that.
Yeah, Oklahoma's not going to a New Year's Six bowl.
You don't think they're going to leap? He said that the committee is going to reevaluate everyone's resumes, and Oklahoma and Ole Miss are going to leapfrog Missouri.
I would be surprised if Oklahoma leapfrogs them and goes to the Year 6. Now, listen, if they want eyeballs and traditional teams or whatever, maybe, but I don't think so. I think Oklahoma is headed for the Alamo Bowl.
I think the Mizzou fan base would be more excited about going to one of these bowl games that would sell more tickets.
I honestly don't think some of these projections I've seen, putting Oklahoma and Missouri together in some game. They're playing next year. I don't think they're going to do that.
I see a lot of Missouri and Texas.
They're playing next year too, aren't they?
I see some. No,
they're not.
I see some Mizzou, Penn State. I see a lot of Mizzou in the G5.
I'll also remind you of this: Missouri's big time now.
There was one that had, which I would love, Mizzou and Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl, but that ain't gonna happen.
I'm gonna say this right now:
What?
Missouri's big time. Doesn't matter. These bowls are dumb. The only ones that matter are the playoffs.
They're not dumb.
They're dumb.
For someone that hasn't
you're
gone
big
to
to
them.
know.
This is you being an elitist.
If you've arrived,
you've gone to all these bowls. Let me enjoy this first.
You need to skip forward to the 12-team playoff and be disappointed that you're not in or something.
No, see. That's what's wrong with college football. You're an elitist. And so you're telling Kansas not to be excited about their bowl game. And look, this is wonderful, and don't take it for granted that Missouri won 10 games. It's not as easy as Todd says.
It's too hard for A&M to figure out.
It's not as easy as Todd says. Winning 10 games, especially in the SEC, is difficult, and Mizzou did it. We're going to see if you win 10 games in the SEC, Todd.
Who's me?
You, Oklahoma. You are Oklahoma in this town. You think
Am I?
You think you won the SEC? Is going to run roughshod over the league?
No, I don't think they're going to run roughshod over the league. I think it's going to be hard. I wish they stayed in the Big 12.
You're not. What? You wish they stayed in the Big 12?
Yeah, I wish Missouri hadn't left the Big 12. It was a great league. We've talked about this 100 times.
What if I like being in the SEC?
Yeah, it's fine.
I would like to. Here's what I want to have my cake and eat it too. I'd like to be in the SEC for football and the Big 12 for basketball.
Let's work that out. I think
SEC basketball's stupid.
I would like the SEC to figure out a way to have a 9-team schedule and make some pods and make this thing right and then try to build something. I think what they have going on right now is stupid.
I was going to take you to the Oklahoma at Mizzou game next year. Now I'm not going to because of your attitude.
No, I love it. We're
No,
going.
you're not. No.
Yeah.
No.
I
with this
promise you
attitude-
it's going to happen the weekend my daughter gets married. I won't be able to go to that game.
What weekend did she get married?
She get married in late October. The
Did
dates
you
aren't
have-
out yet.
Did you have any say in this?
Did
you have any input in this? Can you stand up and say, hold on here, I love you, daughter, but not during football season?
She intentionally did not make it early in October because she knows that that's the OU Texas game.
Why don't you just have her make it to Super Bowl Sunday? How about that? Have a nice. I bet you get a nice discount on some of the event venues. Super Bowl Sunday, about 5:15.
They're all just football games.
Huh?
Could be a
do
Sooners
that.
off week.
Take a break. Back after this on WHP.